Thanks a lot, Bob and Donnie. Let's get you guys started with the Sarasota Scoop News. This is Frankie Abbruzzino. Let's start it off with Sarasota Sheriff's Office. They had their 14th annual National Family Violence Apprehension Detail. And this is actually something that 500 law agencies throughout the nation participate in, where they do a warrant sweep to demonstrate to these offenders out there that they will hold them accountable for their crimes. And they're hoping to raise awareness of the problems that families face with domestic violence within our communities. So they went out there, the apprehension team, they teamed up with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the SPD in an attempt to serve 40 warrants. They ended up arresting 10 people, one of which he's a current offender. He had 66 prior arrests, yet he's still able to walk around. Amazing. All right, Sarasota, this lady we probably all remember, Ashley Parker. She's 31. She was convicted today of trying to kill her 6-year-old daughter, and she was sentenced to 40 years on Wednesday. This was a sad, tragic story just a couple weeks ago where her daughter was up on the stand testifying against her. She's basically going to serve out this sentence, and then after that, she's got a lifetime of probation. And at first, before going straight off to the state prison, she's going to be sent off to a mental health access facility to see essentially what is wrong with her. They found her guilty of 4 felony counts, including attempted murder, first-degree murder, and aggravated child abuse in September. Venice, best place to travel in November. That's why so many tourists were here. It's stay warm and save money. This is from TripAdvisor. You can find it on many of my scoop pages. Venice, Florida, and they put it down for $813 a week. But it basically says it's idyllic Main Street and charming small town appeal, which we may lose with this aggressive growth we've been pursuing. Venice has made itself basically the biggest little city out there, and they basically said, hey, they got great parks, which we do, green space and public beaches, and of course, everybody knows about our shark tooth hunting. So good things happening there for Venice. Over in Sarasota, or actually this isn't Oklahoma, so I'm not sure why they said Sarasota earlier, or by the cemetery on Colonia. If you know Venice, you know Colonia is not a great area, especially from that cemetery on down to, what is that, Edmondson, I think, or Laurel. It's a rough area. 1 in the morning, this person was out there walking, and basically a motorcycle pulled up. 2 guys beat the guy up and stole his wallet. I can tell you that is not a place you want to be walking at 1 in the morning. Sarasota Hospital Board, they approved the 2017 tax rate. Basically, they came in, they said, look, they agreed in September to leave property tax where it should be unchanged. They went through the motions again on Tuesday because there was a state hearing that basically said that the tax increase was not properly advertised. So they had another meeting. Like so many of these, community members didn't show up, and it's a shame. But the board took swift action. They left the rate unchanged, which will result in an increase over this year's collection of $46.6 million because this rise is a countywide property values, which is by more than 8%. And the new estimate levy will be worth about $53 million. So that's a significant increase. Knight's Trail, open completely back up. Everything's done. The pistol rifle range are fully open to the public as of this morning. The baffles have been installed, and the facility is there basically up and running. Those baffles were essentially installed to prevent the bullets from going beyond a certain point. Safety. Sea turtles. Normally you think it's over. The season normally runs from May 1st to October 31st, but hey, it's still going on. They said it's uncommon and it's still very active. They said, unfortunately, we set timelines, but the turtles don't really pay attention to those timelines, which was pretty funny. So they're late laying these eggs, and the incubation period is going to be a little bit later. So they're asking people to be careful that these turtles will be hatching. Told beach goers to be aware and just be alert out there for these new little hatchlings. Sex predator. This guy basically he's registered here in Sarasota. It's Michael Adrad. He's 47. He was convicted of sexual battery, coerced a child by adult in 2004 here in Sarasota, and he was sentenced to 15 years in jail. He's now out. He was living over on Nail Street, Northport, and now he's moved over to Pine Tree Road in Venice. A lot of questions were asking, why is he so close to street schools? I know an individual mother with a child that lives very, very, very close to this guy was very concerned, and they said, look, as long as he's 1,000 feet from school, child care facilities, parks, or playgrounds, he's okay. But if little Susie lives across the street, no problem. That doesn't make sense, does it? You guys tell me. All right, this meth bus. Meth, what a dangerous drug. And I have no... I do not feel sorry for these meth traffickers out there like this guy. Sorry, I'm looking at his picture just thinking. How many lives have been destroyed by meth? Say over on the 6,000 block in North Tamiami Trail, just after 1 a.m., deputies pulled over this car basically because they smelled burnt marijuana. Inside the car, they found 77 grams of meth. Yes, this guy was out there trafficking it. His name is Daryl Hall, and hopefully he'll be off the streets. But as we just heard from the domestic one with 66 prior arrests, he may not be off the streets, and he may be back out there dealing his meth again. All right, now we have this great-looking design. If you're watching my video presentation, you can see it. If you're on the radio, you can check out the Venice Scoop or uncensoredreport.com. It's the sculpture that Jorge Blanco will be featuring at the roundabout on Ringling and Orange Avenue. It was just approved by the Sarasota Public Art Committee on Tuesday. It's basically 20-foot tall powder-coated aluminum sculpture called Bravo. And it won out of 160 submissions. I'm not sure what Sarasodians are going to think of that one. Venice. Our fire department did great. Their score of an ISO rating of 2. This is a good thing, especially for the citizens. This is something that the fire rescue underwent. It's department-wide, and it checks out their ISO evaluation. It's done every 5 years, and historically, Venice has always scored a 3. Nationally, if you look at the averages, that's actually average. It's actually above the standard. But this time we scored a 2, which is, if you look at it in terms of numbers, over 47,000 fire departments throughout the nation are evaluated. Only just 1,408 score 2. How phenomenal is that? And what does that mean to you? It means that the insurance companies, what they do is they look at this PPC information to see where they're going to put your premiums at for fire insurance. And generally, if it's down to a 2, you're going to get better premiums because you're better protected out there. And this ranking score will help the citizens out there to get better insurance rates, which is a good thing. We're going to need that, especially if you look at the FPL increase that it's looking like the state's going to approve. I didn't know, property tax increase. I know here in Venice we just got a half-cent tax increase. We just had a waste fee increase. There got a referendum for the road repair increase. That's more taxes, and then public safety increase. So I know in Venice we're a little tired of fees, and we needed a break. So this is a welcome thing. So that is it. I'm sending it back to Bob and Donnie. Everybody have a great day. This was Frankie Abbruzzino with the Scoop News or the Uncensored Report.com.